We all try to stay positive, but sometimes we fall into negative thinking that can affect our lives. We might worry about past mistakes or current problems, fearing they'll lead to bad outcomes in the future. When something bad happens, we might start to link it to all the other bad things in our lives, making us feel worse. We might feel anxious in the moment, trapped in our thoughts, constantly worrying about what could go wrong. If this sounds familiar, you might be someone who overthinks, also known as a ruminator. This way of thinking can harm your health. Psychologists have found that overthinking can hurt performance and lead to anxiety and depression, especially in women who tend to dwell more on stress and disappointments than men. As a psychologist and someone who has struggled with overthinking, we understand how tough these negative thought patterns can be. Many overthinkers are kind, smart, and caring people who truly want to improve their lives. In this video, we'll explore practical strategies and mindset shifts to help you stop overthinking, quiet your mind, and regain your inner peace. The first step to feeling better is admitting that you have a problem. If overthinking is keeping you from being happy, making decisions, getting things done, or building relationships, then it's time to recognize the issue. If you find yourself getting stuck in negative thoughts and depression after something bad happens, or if worrying about the future is stopping you from enjoying today, that's a sign of overthinking. Ignoring it will only make things worse. If you're unsure, ask your friends or family for their honest opinion. They can usually see it more clearly than you can. Enjoying this video? Hit subscribe to stay updated with essential health tips and the latest updates on our channel. Once you admit that you're an overthinker, it's important to forgive yourself. Your brain is actually wired to overthink, and this tendency is natural. The way our brains are organized sets us up for overthinking because our thoughts and memories are closely connected, not separated. So, when something stressful happens or you're in a bad mood, it can trigger a chain of negative thoughts that have nothing to do with the original cause. For example, poor job performance might make you think about your aunt who passed away last year. When something negative happens, your mind is more likely to focus on other negative things and link them together, even if those connections don't really exist. The more this happens, the more likely it is that you'll keep overthinking in the future. While your brain may be wired to make these links, once you're aware of it, you can start to address the problem. Many overthinkers, especially women, feel the need to talk it out when they're stressed or worried. While talking can sometimes help, it often makes things worse, especially if the person you're talking to is also an overthinker. You might end up overanalyzing every detail of your problems and getting even more upset. This kind of co-rumination, where two people overthink together, can make both of you feel more negative and stressed. Research has shown that co-rumination among female friends can lead to higher levels of the stress hormone cortisol. If you really need to express your worries, try writing them down instead. This can help clear your mind and make you realize that your concerns might not be as big as they seemed. Instead of talking about your worries, sometimes it's helpful to get moving. You already know that breathing can calm your mind, but sometimes you need to release that energy. Doing something physical can be really beneficial, whether it's going for a brisk walk, playing with a pet or kids, doing yoga, swimming, playing sports, or running. Activities that engage both your body and mind are especially helpful because they pull you away from obsessive thinking and help you get into a flow state. In addition to physical activities, mentally engaging tasks can also break the cycle of overthinking. Playing cards, learning a new language, or playing games can distract you from negative thoughts. You could also try a new hobby, like making art, drawing, painting, or crafting, such as jewelry or clothing. You might even discover a hidden talent, or start a new career, or meet new people along the way. Overthinkers often struggle to stay in the present moment. Instead, they get caught up in past failures or future worries, neglecting the present. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. So, How can we find peace in the present? We've already discussed some strategies to help calm the mind and focus on the present, such as breathing, talking less, getting active, and doing activities that redirect your attention. But one of the best ways to stay grounded in the present is to practice mindfulness, a type of meditation where you focus on the current moment without judgment. When obsessive or worrying thoughts arise, simply acknowledge them and let them go, releasing them and clearing your mind. We recommend learning mindfulness techniques like transcendental meditation or seeking help from a therapist who practices mindfulness-based cognitive therapy if you need extra support. When we worry, we're trying to control the flow of life because we're attached to how things turn out. We want things to go a certain way and fear that something bad might happen. However, we have little control over how events unfold. Worrying doesn't directly affect the outcome. Instead of obsessing, we can choose to accept life as it is and let go of our attachment to the results. The universe is much older and wiser than us, and instead of constantly worrying, we can trust and surrender to its flow. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. It means going with the flow instead of fighting against it. It's a form of release and peace because it means trusting that everything will work out as it's meant to. Trust that things happen in their own time and place, and that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. From this perspective, worrying about good or bad outcomes is a flawed way of thinking. There's no such thing as good or bad in the grand scheme of the universe. Everything is part of the same whole. Setting time limits for overthinking can be an effective strategy to regain control over your thoughts and prevent them from spiraling out of hand. When you're caught in a cycle of overanalyzing a situation, it can feel overwhelming as your mind constantly replays the same concerns. By giving yourself a specific time frame, say 15 or 30 minutes, to reflect on the issue, you create a boundary that helps contain your thoughts. This structured approach prevents you from dwelling on the problem all day and encourages you to focus on finding a solution rather than getting stuck in a loop of uncertainty. This method not only brings a sense of discipline to your thinking, but also fosters a healthier mindset by teaching you to move on after processing a thought or concern, ultimately improving your overall mental clarity and well-being. We hope today's video on how to stop overthinking and find peace has been helpful for you. If you found these tips useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on improving your mental well-being. And if you have any personal strategies for dealing with overthinking, feel free to share them in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay peaceful and present.